suppose I should put my headset in that as well, that'd probably help. Evening all. Hope everybody's well. He's properly set up, you know, true professional here. Can't even find out what was used to put his headphones on. Because if I don't put them on, I won't hear any notifications. And that looks like it's quite done. And pop that out of the way. Yeah, that's better. Hey, Toxin. Trying something new this evening. Using another program to do the multi-stream. So I'm just making sure it's working. Make sure I'm seeing stuff on Twitch. Make sure I'm seeing stuff on YouTube. So, let's see. Oh, YouTube's not showing anything. Well, not for me anyway. And that will be because I'm in the wrong one. So for some bizarre reason, Restream seems to have set one up. And OBS seems to have set one up. So this is going to be getting confusing. Yeah. So one night ahead. So we have 21 keys to do some gambling with. And we have a Connie 2 to get set up and have some fun with as well. Well, hey, looks like Mutara's in. Thank you very much, guys. Watch us ping through. Appreciate the follows as well. This could take a minute because I know how many was on the Mutara stream. I was over there enjoying it myself. Hey, bam. So I'll give this a minute for all the pings and everything to stop going off. Mutara, I like it. I'm so welcoming everybody. There's far too many names to read off. And just let that do its thing. So yeah, so 21 keys because, you know, Moobot didn't like me on Mutara, so I didn't get any more. And Connie 2 to set up and have some fun with. And nothing else is sold, so no more cheap keys for me than tonight. So I'm going to get the Connie 2 open. Let's see if we can get a nice funky name for it. What to call it? You know what? We'll call it what the original Enterprise A was actually called. The Yorktown. And we'll make it the O2. There we go. Since they rechristened the Yorktown the Enterprise A in Star Trek 4, might as well do the same here. And we're going to set it up as a bit of a theme build. We'll get rid of all of this, and then we'll put on all the upgraded stuff. And you actually get to see more of it than what you did at the end of Star Trek Beyond. Yes, we do need a whale probe in the game. I'm convinced that if they do ever make the 4th reboot film, that it will be to save a canary or a goldfish. Purely because they did whales in Star Trek 4, and they've been pretty much doing the same thing in the first 3 films. Right, let's see what's copied over, let's see what's not copied over, and let's see what we need to get. And get the joys of sitting and redoing all the trays and everything else again, so. Right, got fleet power, got subspace, don't have Gemini, so we need Gemini on. I'll leave the console on, the PB AOE, just to have some fun with that. And then I want to check the shields on this one as well, because on the original, well, I say the original, the 2 that's already in from the Legendary bundle, there is 1 point on each nacelle that doesn't change with the vanity shields, and it annoys me. So I'm going to have a quick look at that as well in a minute. I have to say though, it does look nicer than what they had originally, albeit with the comp engine still on. Get rid of them in a minute. Not doing attract fire. Doing straight manoeuvring. That there. Right. This is the one thing that does annoy me, is that it doesn't just leave your tray as is and add and remove what you've actually got on. It just defaults it on every time you get a new ship. So you've got to sit and do this. And the only reason I do this is because I've got my keybinds set up. So if I don't do it, I'll start activating stuff unintentionally. Now the question is it just a standard cloak, and what's the effect on it? Just a standard one. That might have been something a bit more fancy. Do have DPRM on, that's fine, need that there. I'm in the Alliance Dyson sphere. That's where I tend to hide, because it doesn't take as long to load up as ESD does, and it's usually a bit nicer chat wise than ESD. Then I also need to remember and set up all my officers as well, because that would be a good idea. Right. Disable visuals in that, disable the visuals in that. Right. So you're going to fire all 3, beta. Matter of fact, actually, no, you'll go distributed targeting, chemosites. As the Flash said in the first cut of the Justice League film, I need friends. Top spread. There we go. That done. It's Intel. So SRO engineer, where are you? I would do, Johnny, except I don't actually have any upgrade tokens. I am waiting on the next Phoenix event coming. So as soon as that comes, I have a stack full of Phoenix tokens ready to trade in to get a ton of T6 upgrades, because I need a load of them. Right, There we go, that'll do. Trait wise, take off emergency weapon cycle because we're not using that. ETM can stay on. Universal design, ruin of our enemy, turn goodbye. Yeah, there we go, we're getting there. Last bit of the tray to be done, and then we'll go and get it leveled up and see what it does. Yeah, you're done. Thank you very much for the follow. Yes, it would be a real nice quality of game improvement if they did just leave the tray and remove what you don't have on it. Yeah, I did the last Phoenix event. I got a ton of them, and let's say just went right through every ship that I had and started upgrading them, and then ran out about a quarter of the way through. So it was most annoying. I don't know if I'd leave that there. Some weird bizarre reason I just heard a door chime. Well, Eric, it gives you something to do. Yeah, probably, I was going to say better than your food, but I better not say that. I'll get lynched. Or you'll talk about food for the rest of the night and I'll be sitting here starving. Not really matters there, so that's fine. Scramble, shield. We can sit there just now. I want to say, apart from the fact of realising that put fire at will on. Well. Right. Firing mode would be most helpful. There it is. Right, there we go. Tray's done. Thank you very much, Boggle. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, so evidently we are going next to it. And we'll beam down and do that in auto second. First things first, because I'm a vanity shield addict. Let's have a look at some. Yeah. They've still managed, if I can get it on the screen properly, to leave these two bits on the fins bare. It's the same on the other ones, and it's the same on this one. That's going to drive me nuts. With the courier one on, it's... I'll probably put the Kelvin on because it just matches what's there. The Alliance still stands out like a sore thumb. Safe Galaxy, not even worse. Disco. Okay. Going without vanity shields in this one. It's against my better nature, but I have to say, it turns very well. Sure. And again, still drops off. For some weird bizarre reason, every time I change ships, it always seems to drop the same two duty officers. And why is that one? Yes, it is. That is the best looking JJ one. I think what it is I'll swing it around in a little second. Once I find something else to put on here. I think it's because the spread in the cells out more in line with the original Connie refit. Still having this bit here still a little bit off. And the pylons are far too thick, as are the nacelles, but apart from that, shape-wise, it does look a lot better, especially looking down at it. It does look more like a Constitution. I believe they're fixing the lighting on this one as well. Yeah, so they've got to fix all this lighting on it still. Right, we can beam down and sort out the ship. Okay, we'll get this upgraded. I kind of boggle to send them over. The Protostars on my list of ships to get. I'm not a fan of the show by any stretch of the imagination, but I like the look of the ship, just from a pure aesthetics point of view. Where's my other one to see what I've got on it still? 1, 2, 3, yeah. It's fine. So I'm going to stick on the emulating phaser lens if I can find it. There it is there. And we'll also throw on the top console from the Shangri-La. And shift them over there because that annoys me. Put that on. Righty-ho. Let's take this into a quick wanted delete and get it leveled up. And then we'll see what else we'll get up to. So got some gambling to do, and then we can probably run some TFOs. Or if anybody's wanting to do anything in game wants a hand, well, feel free to put requests in. Yep, first two dispatched. I just need to sort out the audio on this because it is deafening me slightly. Oh, that reminds me actually. I have volume control on my headphones and forgot all about it. I can just turn it down there. Put that down there. Go up there, and that should be down there. And that can come back down there. I will eventually get this tray sorted out instead of keep fiddling with it mid-combat. That's it, it's a very agile ship. I did saying that the one from the 10th anniversary bundle was nice and quick as well. Yes. I get bugged very easily with little things in the game. Such as the Delta Recruit ones. I think if you've done one Delta Recruit and you're just creating one for the other factions, you should only have to get to level 65 and complete their unique objectives, rather than having to do all the storylines and all that again and again and again. But that's just because I hate story content. Done it far too many times. Yeah, you can take me with you all you want. I just got to buy me a drink first. But it's seen the streams before, you'll notice that I am looking about 10 years younger. I caught myself in the mirror the other day, and I looked exceedingly old with my beard. A lot more salt than pepper. So I made the executive decision to get rid of it very, very quickly. Right, that should be it mastered now. Just double check. Yes, the burnout happens very quickly, especially during recruits, and if there's multiple ones to do, such as the Delta. I see folk ask why do so many. If you do the Romulan and the Klingon and the Federation, there's extra rewards for it from the temp officer, which is up to you if you think they're worth it or not. Hey, I just realised I didn't actually have my other two traits on. Well done me. So, I say I've done it on my main account, this one. I've done all the recruits. And I finished the last of the Delta ones the other week there. Then, calculate broadside on. Obviously the temporal ones, Klingon 1 as well, Gamma 1. But unfortunately I'd done my temporal and Gamma as engineers. So I wanted to change them to tactical. So I had to create new ones when the events ran last year. And I've still not quite got round to actually completing them. So on the additional freezer, I'm going to swap that out for a turret, just for that trait. Righty ho. So that's good to go. Inventory wise. Cool, right, let's open some lockboxes then. I've accepted mine, just like mine getting cut a bit shorter. So we have 7 Safe Galaxy, 7 Borg, and 7 Infinity. I doubt we'll get anything ship-wise out of Infinity because I got one fairly recently. Borg one, probably 50-50 at the moment. Safe Galaxy, I've not opened many of them since I got the World Razor the last time, so we'll see what happens. So 21 keys, 7 of each. Oh yeah, explosive syndrome, so worth that. Let's have plasma weapons, R&D packs, reputation marks, more modules. A weapon pack, that's not too bad. Oh, Watcher. More bloody R&D packs. No, I didn't get anything at all. Tossed it from the promos. Did get a Borg, perfect. I did get a Infinity ship from the Kizo, another Watcher. More VIP lithium vouchers. Another watcher. I'm doing well with watchers. There's cut and beam again. And last but not least, hey, fleet support. I didn't get totally screwed over. Got semi-screwed over, but not totally. That's the radiolytics. That's the one that doesn't have an Omni, isn't it? Aye, because you get them for the obliterating, but not for the radiolytics. In there, and I'll open that. I'm severely tempted to open this one as well to see if there's anything in it. So an element to the account bank because I'm running out of space to sell stuff in this one. And we'll ditch them. Right. Do one random ground weapon and one random beam weapon. Ground traits, hate doing them. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I need on any of my alts. Is that a new one? Spring in your step. Don't remember seeing that one before. I'll get vicious because that normally sells quite well. I was going to say I would have grabbed you some, but just remember the last gen isn't in here yet, is it? It's just a safe galaxy. And somebody was asking for some, I can't remember which ones they were. Oh, actually, let's see if we get out of the Viridian pack. Go for the cannons. Do hate these lockboxes. Joe heavies. I'll do nicely. And drum roll for the Borg. Are we going to get a decent one? 9 of 47. Are we? Past exchange. Right. 9 of 47. So 15. So I'll put that one up for 14. Okay. So somebody can have that and flip it if they wish. What space have we got? Can sell 5. Try and make some of the EC back. Shut that off. See if the Joe heavies aren't going for that much. $99 for that. And I'll do all the rest of my alts later on. I'll put that up for 7 because I think 6 is just a bit too low and it is risking tanking the market if I put it any lower than that. Now these are a hit or a miss. Sometimes these sell really well and sometimes they don't. I think the last time I sold them they were sitting about 20 mil. They've came down quite a bit. I'll put that up for 3. And last but not least, we'll flog this and then we'll jump into some stuff. Yeah, I can actually afford that. That's quite impressive. Right. Oh yeah, and those bloody drones now go in the fleet bank out the way. Because they're not even worth the space to put them on the exchange. There we are. Job done. Right. Could always go high, yeah. So, what shall we do on the stream then? Is what I do random elites or well, probably random advances to be honest until I get to grips with the new ship. Or we can swap the ships out and say we want to keep with the Connie 2. We can do that. Or also picked up the Shrike recently as well as the lovely spinning thing. Yeah. There was a time about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I think it was, Eric, that I was selling them as a batch. I had about 50 of them and I got about 2 million for them. So I had a bit of value then, but every time I look, and I stopped looking now, no, they were only worth about 1,000. So they're alright for having a Borg pet. You know, if you've got a Borg themed character, crack on with them. If you want to do the lore behind it, I can do that a couple of times. Yeah, so what do we fancy doing? We sort of do random elites and anybody that wants to join in can just queue up. You want to do me suffering and do a story mission for yous. And I don't say that lightly, so as much as I hate doing the story content, that's the sacrifices I'm willing to make. So if there's anyone that wants to suggest one, I can run through it. Or we can do something else. Tally up to yourselves. Also just keeping an eye, I've got the streams running on my other machine at the moment because OBS crashed a couple of weeks ago and I didn't realise. And I was ranting for about 20 minutes before I realised. So that's fine. A panic attack there, was an error up on Twitch. I went, it's not working. But it is, it's working fine. Brunt FCA. Get the light on since the sun's disappearing. Now Jeffrey Coombs has played everybody else. Brunt, Wayoon, the 20th Century Detective, Ferengi and Enterprise, can't remember his name. Tran and Enterprise. I can't remember if we was in TNG or not. I think you'll be done cooking in 15 minutes, but I hope you're following the instructions. Whilst we're waiting for anybody to make a suggestion, I might throw this into ISE. Just for giggles. I think one or two of them were, I think Ethan Phelps one and Quint Howard's ones were. I don't recall if they named the other ones. Parse her up. You want me to run a normal random? Okay. Normal random it is. I'll probably get stuck in some terrible ground one knowing my luck. But it's a Sunday night, it gives me something to do. Sure, everything's still running smoothly. I'm guessing there's not a lot of folk on doing random normals at the moment. There we go. Interesting take on the motion picture uniform there. Right, what are we getting? Romulan Imperial Minefield. I've not done this one for ages. Hey, Doc. I need to get a little prompter somewhere over here, because at the moment my chat and OBS and everything's up on the screen over here, my main screen's over there, and yeah, she does look majestic. Keep an eye out. I'll just run into them. Can't be bothered flying that far. We'll just jump. We'll take the Battlestar Galactica approach and jump. Get him on. Let's get a boogie on here. Ooh, I've not actually used the console for this one yet. Where's the next mob? And I will use the console this time. Now, memory serves, it's only got a 2K range or something. So that's according to the fluff on the description, is in response to what happened to the first JJ Enterprise. So for the Swarmers, they decided to create this to tackle the Swarmers. Yes, yes it is. Now, even with it being the A, I do wish they'd changed those themselves a bit. There's something nice about the refit. Yeah, that is. Yep. Eric asked me to run a random normal, so I'm running a random normal. So it shouldn't take that long. Somebody's over there, that's fine. Go over and clear this lot out. As I say, I take requests, and if I can accommodate them on stream, I will most certainly do so. Should be gamma done. Put it down here and take this all out. And just part right underneath it and do that. And that's how you take care of a scimitar. Go and sell those two, since I'm EC poor at the moment, until stuff starts selling. It's typical. It's the only time I run out of ECs, the one time that somebody's put keys up cheap on the exchange. Right. What's next? Let's say if anybody wants to join a team, we can do so. Run some private ones. We can just do queue for randoms, whether it be normal, advanced, elite. That, or I'd have time to do one story mission. And to be clear, it won't be Axiom. Not a chance. And once with the fact I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch, I'd put a poll on, but unfortunately I can't do that on both with the software that I'm using. Might try and maybe get a poll website or something set up for future streams where we can do that. There's a question actually. Has anything been announced? That's what everybody's thinking. Nothing surprising announcement. Entering more giveaways to try and win free stuff. I always like free things. Change up to random advance at the moment. Pop straight away. It's always nice to see. I would do random elite, but odds are I'll get stuck with Corfez. And this isn't the ship to do Corfez in. If I was going to do Corfez, I'd taken the tank, I think. Or maybe the Ark Royal or the Chekhov as an APG build. Got more milk. Stuff selling. Like to see. Not enough to buy another key though, unfortunately. So I have to wait and see if anything else goes through. Quite a bit up on the exchange at the moment. Ooh. A hive. Yeah, between the Elios console and the Woven one, the event, the summer and winter last year were very good prize wise. Just be very curious as to what they do or what they announce in the next month. I'm beginning to think I might have wanted to put Fireball Escape on with this one. I can't find my mouse. Really thinking Fireball Escape might have been a good idea. A lot of ships going boom. It's actually the first time I've properly heard the Kelvin weapons. Does sound quite nice. I'm slightly curious as to what they're going to try though, because they've done also the Elios console and another couple now that have different effects depending on what slot you put them in. Now it's good and that gives a lot of variety for builds that way. Now they said the ship was going to be adaptable to a certain extent, i.e. it's not going to be a Borg ship. So, and odds are, as Spencer speculates, the Premilian Battle Cruiser is going to be a lockbox ship. So, I'm just wondering what they're going to do. They did say it's a ship that not everybody's going to like. So, I'm curious myself. I'm wondering if they're going to try something on the lines of, depending what weapon is in what slot on the ship, for example, it gets a bonus. So, say for example, rather than having what I've got just now, so say I've slot 1, if you have a dual heavy cannon in there, you get 10% bonus damage off of that. Beam array in here, dual beam bank in there, turret I suppose could go in there, or torpedo. and have it something like that. Or depending what you sort in each one determines the bonus of it. Because that would open up the builds quite a bit. Rather than just going in with a plasma CSV build, for example. You look and see what got you the most bonus damage out of it. Or if they're just going to have all the consoles as universal console slots. So rather than having tax, sci and engineering. So, or will it have a mode like the Science Destroyers? Now you hit between tactical and science or engineering and it amends your weapons layout. So there's a lot of possibilities. It just depends on how much they can actually do with the game engine without a repeat of what happened on Tuesday. Or something worse. So I'd rather learn how to walk before they try to run. Okay, queuing up for another random advance. Random advances seem to be quite popular tonight. It's popping straight away. Now that is an AFK bolt. I think that would look nice in blue. Wrong one. I do wish it'd give you a preview when you go to change uniform and not a tailor. I'm trying to remember which one's which. Don't know. Oh, well. At least this one won't be challenging. Mirror Star Universe jelly. Now the question is, will they put the fog extender trait on it? Because if they did, that would get a ton of folk logging in to do the event. Or I'll make them a ton of money with folk buying it out to get it because they're desperate to have it. One of the two. Someone's saying hiya. Saying Kathy Dread. Don't really see them that often. Oh good, we're up against the Terrans, that's fine. At least it's not the ding-ons with that bloody viral impulse burst. I'm also very curious as to what the Zen bundle's going to be this year. I'm extremely curious. Is that with Thaw, it's never had a decent extender trait. Now, Surgical Strikes has got the Vanguard Specialist from the legendary Jem'Hadar bug ship. Oh, sorry, CSV's got Withering Barrage. Now even Beam Overload's got one. Does it Thaw? Always seems to have fell by the wayside. And whenever they nerf something, they always go to the nth degree. They never just go, alright, it just needs to come down by 10%. They nerf it by about 50. And then historically they've continued to tweak it on and off. Because did that with, was it Agony, Distributor? And get my teeth in. Yeah. That was the only reason I bought the Tucker, actually, was for that trait for doing solo runs on a Thaw build. Yeah, the only one at the moment really is ETM for probably say day-to-day gameplay. But in saying that, most of the time when I'm in the pugs, I can end up in a team that struggle, and you end up taking most of the hits. So, but you can't guarantee you'll get that kind of environment to run redirecting arrays all the time. Let's get my ass handed to me there for a second. It's not good. That's what happens when you take your eye off the ball. Yes, it does to a certain extent. I tend to try and keep an eye on it. It is on my spam bar at the moment. But by the time I actually get around to hitting it, it's almost on time. Almost. Much immunity, ha 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 ha. Appreciate my disco ball. To be fair, as the servers are these days, they actually make that much of a difference having it on the spam bar or not. I was getting misfires doing a video on Thursday. Try to zoom in and out on the ship. It would just not zoom in at all, and then all of a sudden it leaps forward at warp 10. So far the ship's not too bad. A little bit squishy, but It's probably just my piloting skills at the moment. And the fact that I like to fly into ships as they explode. Going for the Star Wars approach. Oh, I've just realised something. I've got the wrong warp core on. Need to remember to change that when we finish. And normally I'd go and sit at beta. Don't know if this ship will be up for that this time round. If I had the right warp core on, I would do it without a second's hesitation. So I don't see why folk rush about to get the satellites. It's like, got plenty of time. So it looks like the Dread and that is going for beta, so I'll have to do gamma. Really do hate the time gate on this. He says as he pours himself a drink. I was trying not to make a mess. Yeah. I think it should be a case of as soon as you've done the satellites, the enemies come in. As soon as you've defeated the waves, there shouldn't need to be, the whole get an update for 20 seconds. What did I get hit with? Just clocked my health going down there and I just couldn't get to the DPRM in time. It's not going to stop me from going back and annoying the Dreadnought again. Play straight through it. It's the same we didn't make this console the same radius as the jelly. That would have been fun. Just park wherever I wanted to. And I left it on my other enterprise. Same with the ablative console from Valdor. It's MIA. Giant disco ball. I don't know, it's fine, hopefully. I survive another 42 seconds. This is the other reason I'm not taking this into elites. Struggles with this one in advance, there's something seriously wrong. Damn, those quantum hit hard. There we go. Another one bites the dust. Let's get the right uniform on. Nope, it's not that one. It's not that one. That one. Sneaky suspicion I took it off, damn it. Can't have a theme build without the right uniform, and you can't get the right uniform without going to the right place. Right, customize. Yeah, I must have got rid of it. Change that one. I don't feel very diplomatic. And wait for it to catch up. There we go. Is it available on the list? Nope. Go no red shirt, I'll tell you that much. Oh yes. That's it, at least this one's got the right background, similar to what Spencer had on the PS5 yesterday. Because on Xbox, it used to have this, best way of describing it is if you remember the old VHS tapes, and if it was off track, shall we say, to have all the lovely squiggly lines and It was just noise all over it. You couldn't even make out half the stuff you were doing on it on Xbox, but at least now they've managed to at least give it a black background, which is better than what it was. So why do they not give you bleeding trousers for this thing? Guess we just have to be basic. That is a pain in the butt, is that they give you the uniform, but they only give you certain pieces of it. That'll do. It's the high cut. Ah, the other bottom category, are they? Alright, cool. What, the tucked high? Tucked low? Gosh, your replacement. Ooh, tight. Not doing that crap, I tell you. Let's get in my way. Yeah, it's about as basic as it gets, as those ones. It's Kelvin timeline, they weren't quite accurate anyway. Put the Kittimer ones on. Yeah, pretty much. Change the colours of the trousers as well. Why they can't just have black? What's wrong with just having just a plain black that matches everything? Ooh, look funky. Close enough. I'm sure there is actually on the wiki the uniform guide. I know there is for like the TWOC ones and the 21st Century Admiral ones. Just wonder if there is one for that. And I'm wearing it, that's fine, right. The scary thing is I did actually have one that's set that did look very accurate. For some reason I got rid of it. Yes. There we go. That's the problem. Swap that. Swap that. Yes, it is. So it's getting these bleeding colony things. If the fleet is full, you can't get rid of the damn things. I'll say that and I can donate it straight away. Watch this. Oh, coffers. No. set its maximum, so they'll just have to sit there gathering virtual dust. Righty-ho. So do we stay with the Connie 2 or do we want to swap ships? As much as I'm ashamed to say so, I have spent too much on this and I have a ton available. So if there's any specific ship you want to see, any specific ship you want me to fly, shout out, and if I've got it, I'll switch over to it. Oh, I can see the virtual tumbleweeds. Then I've also got to remember I've got to wait for YouTube to catch up. Looks like you wanted a headache spinner. I must admit, I remember seeing it when it first came out, and then you never see them flown anywhere. I know we picked it up for the trait, for the complex plasma fires. I thought, I'll take it out for a quick spin, I'll put a build on it. So I did, I put a ultimate plasma build on it. And I had it sitting out in the system, messing about with all the vanity shields on it, which were a bit disappointing. And then I took it into a patrol because I had to get salvage as one of the endeavours, so I just took it into a rescue. And seeing that thing just spin around constantly, I was just like, thankfully I can do this with my eyes shut, so I did. Right, Dawson, what do you want me to swap to? Pick a ship. And if I have it, I'll use it. Bearing in mind I am on my Fed main, so there'll be 0 Klingon ships or Romulan ships. The Rex. You want me in the Rex? That means I've got to go and get the Rex. You realise that? 2 seconds. The biggest ship you own. I do have an Enterprise J. The Rex. Alliance Rex. There we go. So there, we'll do one in the Rex and we'll do one in the G. How does that sound? How do you spell Anubis? Yeah, close enough. You don't know what I do in the Rex. Let's be Anubis. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I actually thought I'd upgraded this. Yeah, I'll do that with the Phoenix event. I thought I'd upgraded all the event ships. Right, 2 ticks. There is. See if we continue. Yes, I know I'm cheating doing this ship setup, but there we go. Right. The harmonic lure, I'll put on Gemini. We'll do that just now. And we will stick on. I'll stick on plot armor just now. And oh, I've already had that equipped. All right, okay, that can stay there then. Fair enough. Right, quickly sort out. I'm doing as a CSV before anybody has any bright ideas. Hate the forced tactical seating, but we'll make it work. We'll switch that over to a miracle worker and we'll throw something on. As I must admit that Rex was a very pleasant surprise for the anniversary last year. Yeah, let's take that on. How efficient the miracle worker is. That's our engineer. Actually, power to weapons and emit unstable. What there we go. Science. Craft well. And watcher can go in there. I'll stick polarize hull on, just to be nice. Right, and traits. Weather and barrage. Put plasma. Oh, that's fine. And fine. Just time for the glitch that happened to me. I think was it Wednesday that I switched to ships, one on my Romney, one on my Klingon, and the traits were, I shall say, interesting, because I had space traits in the personal space traits area and hardly any personal space traits. So, thankfully it didn't bork the build. That looks like in a second. Back to the fun that is sorting out the trays. Right, there we go. So that's everything into there, out the way, so it doesn't keep popping back up onto my tray, as it has a habit of doing. I've expected that to be Defiant flying in there. It's got enough of a habit of appearing. There. There. Ditch you in a second. So the problem with doing this at the Dyson is it doesn't class it as normal space, so you can't just swap things willy-nilly. Forgot to put half the stuff on. Well done, me. Been back down. One of the key consoles, I forget to slot it. Well done. So you will you take you off. Where did it go? Fleet power network array. Yeah, I forgot something. So I've just seen a spam email come in. Your account has been temporarily suspended. Log in with all your details. Provide us with your name, date of birth, address, and personal ID number. We're legit honest. And given the fact it's also something I'm not even a customer of, makes it even more impressive. And yet some folks still fall for it. There. It's there. Why do I have emergency power to aux on? That should be emergency power to weapons. It's just about checking these things, you know, seasoned professional and all that. But this is tedious, doing this all the time. Because when I was doing my alts to get them up, just up level 50 or 52, just ready for event, basically. And I'd just go in, ship mastery, blast through it, move on to the next ship. And I was doing this every single time I swapped. And I must have been doing about 10 or 12 ships per tune. So, yes, I did ask, and I did say, you know, I'd accommodate. Yeah, but interaction, nothing wrong with that. Trying to remember the film that had the line about. Oh, it was James Bond, Tomorrow Never Dies. He says to Elliot Carver that the number one rule of media he's forgot is to give the people what they want. When I did the Rex video, I didn't actually have some of these shields, so I'm just curious to see how it looks. That's it with the Shrike. I had 75 ships sitting there, and you picked one I had to go and reclaim. Courier. Oh, should I just blind you for the next 10 minutes with this? Haha. Well, I think the Safe Galaxy looks kind of military. Yeah, that'll do. Right, save that. Beam back down, and then we'll jump into a random. Nope, not patrol. This is me after I changed my uniform to the Kelvin timeline to match the ship, and you put me in an Alliance one. It's in 2 months to have to go and put the Alliance uniform on. Oh, look at that. Never done this one before. I put the parser on for giggles. Tell you one thing I did forget to swap. I need to do it bloody quickly. Basic maneuvers. And misfires. Superb. Just going to say I'm doing CSV, but it seems I'm doing a rapid fire. I managed it. Yeah, never seen before. Ideal. So time for one more before it gets too late over here. So the question is, yes I do. USS Casual. There we go. So everything on it. Yes, it does. Quickly check the trays and then we'll get another one done. And no, trays are not fine. Okay. Why is half the stuff missing from it? What am I running? Yeah, beam overload. Yeah, sorry, firewall. Right, okay. Why are they? Oh, in fact, why is? Don't use it for start. Firewall. Top spread. What traits have I got on this? Swap some of these as well. Yes, she is. But not so big as our captain. So I can resist quoting Scotty there. Cultural Conquest is going to go on for... Let's take that on for redirecting arrays, and we'll leave the rest of that set as such. Even zoomed out, still huge. Note it gets the Falchion Dreadnought. And the scary thing is, though, is that it actually handles quite well. And of course, I'm going to do a random just now. It's going to go to ground. Bet you. It's going to be a ground one. Let's see what happens. My favourite TOS character. To be honest with you, it's a toss-up between Bones and Scotty. Also Scotty, even though he's played by a Canadian, but Scotsman in the show, which was always nice to see when I was growing up. I know I didn't grow up in the 60s before anybody thinks that. I knew it was going to be ground. Could bloody write it. At least this will be quick. And then McCoy, just because I find half the stuff he says was comical. The Garrett is quite a nice ship. And I wasn't overly keen. They left it too much galaxy on it, I think. I know they tried to marry it with a Vorcha, but I think they could have changed it just a bit more. But it still did well with it. Yeah, just switched out the lights. All that load time and I could have done this already. That looks like a 1. One gambling device that did come in handy. Well, fact is that what I thought. I said it's not really my style of weapon. You know, I'm much more a laser pistol kind of guy. But this is just that effective. Unless, of course, you're fighting against Tholians, in which case it's not exactly the best choice. Somebody else had the same idea. But I've not gone to the extent of jumping through the hoops to equip it to all the bridge officers yet. Yeah, it's a Tholian one. So that was the one from the Azure Nebula debacle. I said I've got to come up with, I would say, different events. Ones that just run different TFOs, because doing the same ones year in and year out, especially when it's either the Vault or a Azure Nebula or even Swarm, they get tiresome after a while. I say I should have bought out the Tholian one. Hated it that much. Still had to do it on my free-to-play accounts, but at the moment I'm doing it on Xbox. But it can be a bit soul destroying. See, the Rise event I'm not too thingy with, because I tend just to rotate through the 20 tunes. So give them all a lovely little jetpack and then just rotate round them, and each one does the flying high until a dance event comes on. And then do the dance event, then back round. And I'll do it until I've got enough of the favours to get what I want to get. And then after that, I'll just do the dailies. I did very similar for the Azure Nebula with the jelly. And it's set up and just kept activating the universal consoles and freeing the ships. Well, I was going to say, as you can see, but you can't, because A, I've got the chat window over the top of my chat window, and I've also realised that that's where the parser's hiding. So you haven't seen any of the parses I've been doing. Well done, me. There we go. Put that back up there. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. But yeah, I don't have my chat windows open. The minute I log into my toon, the chat window gets minimised. I've got zone chat turned off, and the only time I really put it on is if I'm monitoring the trading channel. That's why if folk message me in game, I don't see it. It's not just because I'm ignoring them, it's because I genuinely don't see it. Take that, you rapscallions. Just realised I've not actually activated any of these yet. Just also speaking of summer event, might as well use a bit of ball lightning. Damage control. Yes. I'm quite happy doing flying high. Also do the Duda hunt as well. Because I can rattle through that and it's relatively quick. Horgon. Yep, the Horgon hunt, that's what it is. Do one more so we can get a space one. So that's hard. Attack the summer event. Son of a Toxic, this is your fault. Because you wanted me on my biggest ship. I've done that and now I cannot get out of ground. Oh yeah, so you can. Rainbow Tribble from the team. Shocking. Everybody done theirs? Somebody not realise you were supposed to place the crystal. This one's alright. At least you can activate and place the crystals whilst firing. Because if you couldn't, that would be a pain in the backside. Okay, I've got all this stuff equipped and I don't activate half of it. I'm like 95% of the player base. Ah. Oh, come on, purify. There we go. So that works. Tell it to purify, makes it purify. I like to hear. Shocking. The baddie's gone. Ah, they're there. Oh, good. Give us a minute. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, yeah. Good for them. They need friends. Oh, come on, hurry up and purify so we can get back to the spire and stand and wait. He's not in range. Place crystal. Good. Why is region 1 not getting cleared? I stand and wait and see which line disappears first. Because region 3 should clear. Region 1's still not even started. Why should you just beam over? So it's up here. And weapons fire. I was just going to say typical, I'm just about to get here and this thing starts to purify. probe. We'll have to tear open the gates. It's a family show, son. Right, so there's 3 of us here. So one's on their way and one's standing at the spire by the looks of it. Ah, you see, context. Right, let's get back to the spire. There's a helpful soul standing up there. Make their day bad. Oh, for God's sake, I'm already here. Fucking stupid option to give you. I see that you're at the spire, but let's give you the option to beam there anyway. Because I've got quite a few other things memorised and some things need to move by the wayside. 2 seconds. Been sitting for too long, the hip's starting to seize a little bit. Hurry up and get the elite guys in so we can take care of them and then we can shocker who's this. This is a scary idea, Borg and Discovery. Wouldn't have surprised me, to be honest. Yeah. That's what I was waiting on. Into Leroy Jenkins it. Could be worse. Could tell you Michael Burnham's going to be in the next episode. I'm going to guarantee a space one this time. Once I go into the right menu, that is. So Yes, I know. Very evil. Don't have a mini me at the side of me at the moment. Yes, I was sensible though. Space. Advanced. Select all. See what one pops. There we go. Cure found advanced. Another Borg one. Shock. I didn't realise the gambling device stacked. Good to know. Make myself a bit taller as well. What's even more evil? Okay, I got the Connie 3 out of the Sega now. Look how small they all are compared to me. Bad word, juggernaut. That's me zoomed out, by the way. What are you doing in there? Used the Klingon version of this the other week on Thunberg's stream, and because he was talking about how he wanted the ship and so forth, so I thought, well, I've got it, I might as well take it in. So I parked up next to him and he was like, suddenly feels so small. But even he was impressed it does handle really well. There we go. Ooh. Got an accolade. I had an accolade on this character for God knows how long. What is that accolade? Alright. 50. I've only done it 50 times. It feels like I've done it a lot more than that. Right, and that will be us this evening because it's now 11 PM my time. Back to work tomorrow, unfortunately. So I'd like to thank everybody that stopped by. Those that followed over on Twitch as well. Same on YouTube. Very much appreciated. For the YouTube side of things, not far away now to hit the first milestone. And there'll be a T6 coupon up for grabs once that happens. Twitch, I'll need to go and have a look. In fact, I'm actually going to have a look just now, actually, to see how close I am to the affiliate program. See if I can find out. Create a dashboard. So I'm 3/4 of the way there for the affiliate. I just need 18 more followers on Twitch, and that will hit me to the affiliate level on Twitch. So that's quite good, and that's not bad at all. And that means I've only just started streaming on Twitch in the last few weeks, so most pleased with that. So we'll just need to drum up some more followers over the next couple of streams, and we'll hit that, and then we can start having some fun over on Twitch. And then, as I say, once we hit the YouTube milestone, we'll get that T6 coupon up for grabs. And then once we hit the second milestone, so the ad revenue, it'll be a Eagle Moss Snakehead physical model. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, so a Eagle Moss Snakehead physical model will be up for grabs once the final milestone YouTube's hit, and that will get posted worldwide at no cost to the winner. So there's some incentive. But I am going to wrap things up there, and I will see when I am next going to stream. It might be Thursday. I'll have a look because I've got quite a busy week this week. So until then, thanks everybody that's tuned in, and I'll catch you all later on.